Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, tasting often rare and exotic whiskeys. Not sure how rare and exotic the Castle and Key small batch Kentucky straight bourbon is. Batch number 1 from 2023. Now, I did visit the distillery in August of 2024. Before that, I had actually ordered from a lady over here in Germany called Miss Canada this bottle. This is $55 in the States. I paid €100 to get it over here. So often we have to just double the price before it makes its way to my doorstep because of excise tax, because of shipping, because of commissions of middlemen and so on, or middlewomen, whatever. Beautiful bottle. It actually says here Castle and Key. They're one of the most beautiful distillery campuses with that castle, the old Tyler Distillery. They don't own the name, but since it's a historic building, they can keep it on the building there. And it was supposed to be an attraction, tourist distilling, bourbon tourism way back when. And 2014, they reopened it. Beautiful, beautiful location. Well restored. And they use the old equipment that is in the distillery to make their whiskey. Now, if that's good or bad, we'll talk about that in a second here. This has a mash bill of 73% white corn, 10% rye, and 17% malted barley. That's a high malted barley ratio, low rye, and there's white corn. So if you've ever heard about bourbon, usually you know it's number 2 dent yellow corn. What is yellow 2 dent yellow corn? That is cattle feed. And a lot of bourbon producers use it. That's great. Now, if you ever had yellow sugar corn on the cob, that's going to be sugar corn. That's what we humans eat. I love my sugar corn. My suggestion is put it in the microwave, just wash off the corn on the cob. For each cob, 3 minutes in the microwave. Beautiful, great tasting corn on the cob. My grandmother used to do it in the big pot. She'd take it directly from the garden, and now, back then when she was still alive, she started microwaving it, and ever since I've microwaved mine as well. And then we have the cattle feed, we have the sugar corn, the yellow, and we have the white sugar corn. The white sugar corn has even more sugar content. Why is that important? Because when we make alcohol, we have a nice little helper, a one-cell organism called yeast. Yeast eats sugar and poops out basically CO2 and gives us ethanol. That's what we want. We want ethanol. The CO2 is released to the environment or captured and used for example, in Scotland, often the North British distillery uses it then for beer production, for the CO2 that they put into beer to make it sparkling and nice. A lot of places just have open mash tuns, converters, and they just release it into the environment, which is not bad. What am I doing? I'm breathing, I'm releasing CO2 into the environment. So, white corn is special. And they have been releasing now since 2022. Actually, in 2022, they did 6 batches. In 2023, they only did 4 batches. And 2024, so far, they've had 1 batch. So the batch 1 in 2024 was 50%. I'm going to look here and see if I can find nope. There's no rhyme or reason or pattern here for me. The first batch in 2023 was also 50%. We had 130 barrels, and it was aged 4 years. Batch 2 of 2023 was 51.5. They had 139 barrels. Batch 3 of 2023 was 129 barrels, so 10 barrels less, but it was 51%. And batch 4 was 130 barrels and had 50.5% ABV. Why they're doing this, I don't know. If I had a store and I had to enter each batch number because the ABV varies, I would be a little bit angry or not very happy. I think it would be better for them, what I would desire, and I think Breaking Bourbon also wrote it here. Why not just make it a bottle and bond product, 50%? Come on, that means it's from your own distillery, everything's great. I know you're reduced to using just barrels from that 1 barrel season, either from January to June or July, basically from December. but you're putting it out anyways at 50%. You're diluting it anyways, 51%, 50, 50.5. These are exact numbers that they add water to. Why not? All right, so what am I going to compare it to? I always like to compare things for a couple of reasons. First of all, it keeps me on my toes. Second of all, it gives you alternatives here to buy and purchase and to also have and go, oh, that was okay, this is better, use that. And third of all, just make sure that I'm in sync with my taste buds. And so I do often use a control calibration whiskey before a whiskey video. Now, before I did my German video, I do a German video first and then the English video afterwards. My English videos are actually more concise, better, because I've made all my mistakes in my German video. I know what I'm going to say now. So this is 45%. I picked it. It's between 6 and 8 years of age. It's a low rye. It's about 10%. We don't officially know the mash bill of Buffalo Trace here, of Sazerac, with the Eagle Rare and so on, but that's what we... It's about the same mash bill. It's not white corn, it's yellow corn, but hey, why not? I'm going to nose this, try this, review this, and what is your opinion of Castle and Key? I think it's one of the most beautiful distilleries to visit. Now, my visit at the distillery in August of 2024 was a little bit tainted by a unexpected thunderstorm that rolled through, and most of the tour is outside, so we got soaked to the bone. Then we went to the tasting room where the air conditioning felt like it was on high, full power, and we were almost shivering there. Our tour guide did an excellent job, but still the flair of the distillery was ruined by a downpour, and I walked through that, and it was less than optimal. But if you ever have the chance to go to Castle and Key, if you're in Buffalo Trace, it's about 20 minutes away. Just drive down by the river, and then you reach it, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, this whiskey isn't beautiful. I get a lot of notes here that shouldn't be there. The first one is acetone. The second one is ripe, almost rotten fruit. Have you ever just left, if I've gone on vacation and you forgot that you had a peach or you had an apple, oh, apples aren't bad, a peach, a pear, a banana, and you just come back and that smell of bad fruit? That's what I'm getting here. It's musty, moldy. This is not what I want. I should be getting, according to the official tasting notes here, sugar cookie, honeycomb, peach, lemon zest, thyme. I don't often get thyme in my whiskeys. And baked cinnamon. I don't know. I have normal cinnamon. Why would you bake cinnamon? Now, just to give us a little bit of a idea of the variations, batch 2 says croissant, brown sugar, peanut, nutmeg, baked pear, and balanced oak. Batch 3 of 23 says here, bright sweet dough, lemon curd, peanut brittle, thyme once again, and allspice. And batch 4 is apple fritter, blackberry compote, citrus zest again, honey, and white pepper. So I have the feeling that back then, 2019, 4 years ago, when this whiskey was officially made, there might be a little bit older stuff in here, they were still experimenting. They're like, okay, we can do this, and what happens there? We can do that, what happens there? And then they're just throwing together 130 plus minus barrels and saying, hey, this is our batch. And they did not back then, 2019, 2018, when they were making this, they weren't actually going for consistency. Buffalo Trace wants consistency. They want this barrel, this year, next year, the year after that to taste the same. They were not. Now, what will happen in the future, I don't know. They're still putting up batches. So the batch here, 1 of 2024, has caramel corn, orange zest, toasted peanuts, shortbread, and rosemary. So, I don't know. I don't get the batch system here. I don't understand why they have various various ABVs either. Hey, just put it all out at 50% and make our lives easier, especially with shop stores. Because if I have batch 1, 2, or 3, who cares about that? But the label, as soon as you change the ABV, new entry in the system here. Buffalo Trace, that's I thoroughly enjoy Eagle Rare 10. I can get it. It's available. It's less than 40 euros over here. This is the 1 liter bottle with 45%. Our 0.7 liter bottle in Europe has only 40%. The 1 liter has 45%, excuse me. And so I can get I can get a 1 liter bottle of Buffalo Trace for under 32 euros. What can go wrong there? I mean, that's like 25 euros for a normal 0.7 liter bottle. Fantastic. This $55, this here 100 euros for me to buy it and bring it over here. Beautiful bottle, well done. I did like the restoration rye. I don't know if I loved it, but I liked it. And this bourbon is just funky, weird, and off. I did try the wheated bourbon at the distillery. I did try the rye, which I liked the best, and the bourbon was also there at the distillery. I think we had batch 1 of 2024 was nah. But I was not in the mood. Remember, I was shivering, I was cold, I was drenched, a downpour, and the whiskey, I was just not in the great mood to try my whiskeys there. All right, cheers. It's not bad, but it's got some off notes, and that's the problem here. Cheers. Not good. And then those off notes again in the finish. As I said, musty, moldy. Not nice. This is a D whiskey for me. I don't know if something happened to this bottle. I don't know if something happened to this batch. I don't know if it's just me. But this just does not sync up with my expectations. Value for money, $55. I'm going to give it a D as well. I think the uniqueness of the distillery, if you're close by, visit it. It's fabulous. Do the tour. Why not? Hey, it's a little bit of almost like a coating on my tongue here. Something's not good with this one. Did a bottle share. I'm going to say sorry to everyone that in Germany that received a sample from me of this. I did the bottle share before I bought the bottle. That happens. Now, it could be me. It could just be me that I'm overreacting to something. Maybe I ate something today. Something just doesn't agree with me. Maybe it's my hormones. Maybe it's that time of month for me. I don't know. But I taste the Buffalo Trace. That's the goodness of Buffalo Trace. So I have done a few videos. I have 2,500 videos online, I think, at the moment in English, and another 3,500 in German. There's been like 3 or 4 videos where I've actually started. I tasted it. It was like, oh, that's terrible. And I tasted my comparison whiskey, and it's like, that's terrible too. And that means it's me. No, this is good stuff. This is weird. This is funky. This is a little bit out there. I should have had juicy peach on the taste, baked brown sugar, maple pancake, cinnamon, clove, and the finish could have been a medium body, bright clove, cardamom, and light maple. I don't really get the maple. I think some of those barrels they put into this batch were just a little too funky for my taste. What a shame. What a shame. Okay, very, very good. I did a question in my German video. I'm going to do the same question here. You have 4 bottles of bourbon you can buy. They should all be under $50. What are they? I would not choose the Buffalo Trace because I can buy the Eagle Rare 10. I would choose the Wild Turkey 101. I know a few of you would choose the Rare Breed instead. I can get that under 50 euros as well. I would choose Maker's 46. Love my Maker's 46. And I would choose my Woodford Reserve Double Oak. Those would be the 4 bottles that I can get here under 40 euros that I can. That would be my bourbon collection of my 4 bottles. What would be your 4 bourbon bottles under $50? This is $55, so hey, it doesn't fit in that category anyways. but what would be your 4 go-to bottles under $50 that you can highly recommend to anyone? Available in your area, it doesn't have to be worldwide availability, but that would be mine. Eagle Rare, Wild Turkey 101 / Rare Breed, Woodford Reserve, Double Oak, and the Maker's 46. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, telling others, and so sorry Castle Key for not liking your product here. Bye.